Did you guys hear about the unmarked graves in Florida at the reform school? Oh, my God. Go back to July 31st on my Twitter, Brian. You'll find this story. In Florida, a clash over exhuming bodies at a reform school. There's this reform school in Florida, and they're called the White House Boys. They were a group of men, and many of them now in their 60s and 70s, who were sent to this reform school when they were children, and they remember beatings where people were beaten to death, where students there were beaten to death. Like they had, they ran the place with an iron fist. And when kids got out of line, they gave them frightening beatings and say they knew children who died from the beating. So a few years ago, the state investigators said that they found no evidence that anyone at the staff of the school had been responsible for any student deaths. But then these people, with the state's permission, they got a team of researchers, and they used ground-penetrating radar to locate nearly 100 unmarked graves at the school.
Jesus.
More than 100. Oh, yeah. So they thought it was 50 at first, and then people were freaking out. And then they kept finding more. The state report said the 50 boys were believed buried in unmarked graves, but said that it would not be possible to identify and exhume the remains from individual grave sites. So then they started admitting it, and that's when forensic anthropologist Aaron Kimmery got interested in the story. So they used ground-penetrating radar, found 100 fucking bodies. And now what's interesting is that the governor does not want them. They don't want them exhuming all these bodies. They're trying to keep the lid on this shit. They're like, Jesus Christ. So Governor Scott is fighting exhumation, but Kimmery and her team are supported by Florida's Attorney General, members of the legislature, and by Senator Bill Nelson. This is incredible, man.
The state of Florida has the worst publicist in the world. Everything out of Florida, it's never great. Hey, great stuff discovered in Florida. No, it's either sinking into the ground, people killing each other. 100 bodies.
100 bodies.
Where's these
Unmarked
parents
graves.
at?
Well, they're dead. These people are. This is all from the 1930s and shit.
No, but when it happened, hey, my son never came home from school.
I don't know.
Hey, my other son didn't come home from school.
I mean, I think that you're dealing with, probably decades of, one a year missing, and they've 100 fucking bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's more than that. It needs to be more than one a year, one every few months. I mean, how many did they kill? I mean, I wonder how long they were open for. That's a good question, actually. Let's see this.
Yeah, you would think somebody would be like, wait a second, there's been 100 missing students in the last 10 years.
Just what they call them, the White House Boys. Ooh, this is so creepy. Just think about this group of men, many now in their 60s and 70s, who were sent to this school who, when they were children, who knew boys that had been beaten to death.
Ugh.
Jesus Christ.
That's insane.
Yeah, man. Brutal, brutal beatings. Florida has a website or a Twitter account called Florida Man. It's _ Florida Man at Twitter. It is maybe the best Twitter account ever. It's all shit that dudes who live in Florida have been arrested for. I mean, and it's updated all fucking day, every day, and it's awesome. It's awesome. Florida Man tells police he has a gun, so they'll respond to his 911 call quicker. Florida Man to cops, I'm not going anywhere until I get my weed.
It's humidity, man. Humidity drives people crazy. Gets
Florida
them all worked
Man
up.
arrested twice in 1 week for sex with dogs. Florida man taken to police station for driving without a license, urinates on x-ray machine and detention officer. Florida man stops to help woman after motorcycle crash, steals her purse.
Oh, I know. I heard
my
about
God.
that.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that?
No.
This woman was in this car accident. She was trapped in her SUV, and this guy came up and just stole her purse and then left her in there.
Florida man leaves 6-year-old son in crash car because he thought his driver's license was suspended. It wasn't.
Wow.
Florida man crashes car 3 times in one night of drunk driving.
Wow.
3 times.
How's that even possible?
Oh, man. People are awesome. But Florida is just so strange. It's just so strange.
Mm-hmm. There's a whole weird thing going on over there, man. That whole swampland, it's like the devil's gooch.
Yeah.
Just swamplands and fucking... They put Disney World there, but it's like Doesn't seem like Disney World should be in the middle of that state.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they said about Florida, that within this decade, within the next 10 years, they believe that Miami's going to be underwater. It's like the most recent estimates. They're worried that Miami and a lot of Florida, the ground is apparently very porous, and so it's not like New Orleans where you could set up a levee. They're like, once that water rises, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't know if this is right, but if that's right, think about all those giant ass condos that are like on the beach in Miami. Those are all
It's going to be like Venice. It'll be like Venice, Italy.
it'd be way crazier than that because there's going to be no one in those things. Like, what are they going to do if all that's under the ocean? Like, do you know how freaky it would be if you could drive a boat through Miami and see all these giant buildings in 10 years? Do you think people wake up then and realize what the fuck is going on?
Oh, they're going to have to at some point.
Like, people are going to be like, hey, man, I think maybe we should fucking stop building right on the water. What do you think?
Right.
I think this water's coming up on us.
Oh, it's happening.